Hi, this is Bonnie, and I have a fun project I think I'm going to do today. And it all started because Tim Holtz on Facebook does his lives on Saturday, and he made these adorable candles with paper and hot glue. And you ought to see his video. That's where I got why I'm doing this project, is because I'm going to use these candles. And I will have the link to his Facebook Live down below in the description. Right now I wanted to show you some of the Tim Holtz stuff and some of the things I've just pulled out that I'm going to be doing. First of all, this is going to be my base. I've had this in my stash for a while. It is a book, one of those container books that you can get at Michael's, and I'm going to be using that for my project. And then let's see if I can pull out some of the stuff. This is a knob from one of the things, I don't know if you can still get this, to be honest with you, from Tim Holtz. And I am going to be using the pull knob, and that is going to be going on the front of my book. And that also came with these little, I don't know what you call them, things that will cover this up that goes on top to make it look a little bit more professional. And the other thing that I've had in my stash for a while, it's kind of like I hoard everything that's Tim Holtz, thinking like, oh, I don't want to use it. But this is something I've had for a while. Be honest with you, let's see. I'm trying to see what it's called. It's just Halloween Haunts. And I actually used, I'm going to show you. I used this paper. I cut this whole side off because I just wanted to use this part. And it is going to be what I use to cover up the front and the inside. I'm going to cover up these words with this paper. And also the inside, I cut that one strip right down. It works for both, and that will go on the inside. And I'm going to show you all that once I get that part done. And I pulled out, he had some Halloween, I don't know what you call it, they're things that are printed off that are Halloween in packages. And Euphoria, I think that's right. I'm not really sure. I never get that name right. And all these little pieces came from that you can see here. And I'm going to be incorporating those somehow, some way in here. I also have these. I don't think these are the Tim Holtz bottles. I know you can get Tim Holtz bottles. These might be the Recollection ones. I don't know anymore. And I'm going to be using those inside. This is going to be kind of like a apothecary Halloween looking project. And I'm probably going to use alcohol inks on these to color them. And let's see what else. I wanted to show you all the little bits of supplies that I'm using. I pulled out a key. I pulled out a 17 that's a Tim Holtz product. And again, he is also from that package of Halloween stuff. And let's see. Oh, yes. This right here is just corrugated cardboard. They are going to be my shelves inside. What I did was I figured out how wide they were, how wide this is here. So any box you use, you have to figure out how wide that is. And then I was just going to cut it, and then I was going to glue it on. And then I thought, when I went to do it on the my cutting thing, excuse me, it doesn't cut all the way through. And I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. So it kind of bends, and that is going to be more of how that's going to support that being in there. I'm also going to be gluing the sides, and that'll keep it so that it's a little bit more stationary. The other thing was I have this wooden frame. I bet you that's from Michael's also. I painted that, you can see that, with the gesso, black gesso, and then I'm going to be highlighting that with waxes or the crayons from Tim Holtz. So that's the basic thing that I'm going to be doing. And if there's something special I need to show you, I'll come back in and do a short little part of the video and tell you what I did. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and put the basic things together. Oh, the other thing that's really, really important, I'm sorry, this is part of the Tim Holtz Facebook video too. He used the tiny lights, but he used the Halloween ones, and he puts those inside of the candles, and you really need to watch the video. It's really cool. And that's what I'm going to do. So this will be how I put the lights inside of these will determine where the shelves go in here and the height of the candles, because I have to put the backs of one of these on the outside, the back side of this book. So I'll be able to turn it off and on from the back side. That's where the switch will be. So I'll have to be putting a hole through this. And yet it's a little bit thick, but it's not bad. I'll be able to use my paper piercer to make the hole that I need to get through that, I'm pretty sure. So that's the plan. I wanted you to see what it was that I had pulled together for the supplies, and then I'll just tell you what it is that I did as I go. Thanks. All right, so far I have my little shelves in, and I've got the background done, and I have added the skeleton on the side. I curled them up a little bit, and it worked out really well because I needed to put that screw in there for the knob, and I've got the front done. So just to show you again the knob, I am going to be using the pull sticker from that set, and this, like I said, all came with the Tim Holtz knobs. And then you just put that right inside of there, just like that. And then, like I said, I'm not sure if the sticky on these are good anymore, because that's probably why they get sold out, is because they start to turn a little bit yellow. But you know what? That's perfect, because I want it to look older. And that just fits right on top and looks very, very professional. Isn't that cool? So then there's this little screw that goes in the back, just like any normal knobs. And this fit really well in terms of the width, so I can still screw it back on. Now, these are very hard. They're cardboard hard. And so I used my, I think this is called the Big Bite. And it punched right through it without a problem. And the smallest setting was perfect size. So then what I would do is I would just start screwing that right back on. And I will have my little knob at the bottom. I'm probably going to have to tighten it with the screwdriver that I have to make it more secure. This screwdriver wasn't the best, but I guess if I hold it steady, it just doesn't want to grab that section. Let's see where I'm at. I think I'm okay though. I might make that a little bit tight. I will make it tighter after I get done showing you all this stuff. Okay, so that's going to be the cover. And then, like I told you, I had I need to put some wax and stuff on the cover of that and give it a little bit more of an antique-y look, or a little rustic look. And then this is the guy that's going to go on the cover. Now, because it's going to be on the cover, I want it to be a little bit more long-lasting. I am going to be using this Versamark on top of him to like seal him. And all I'm going to do is put a little bit of ink on him, bring him over to my embossing tray, and I'm going to be using some clear embossing powder, and I'm going to put that right over the top of him. And then I'm going to heat emboss him to go on top of that. So those are the next couple of steps I'm going to do, but before I attach him or anything, I have to antique or whatever I'm going to do with this. I think I'm going to go pull some of the crayons out and my waxes. Okay, so I distressed the outside of the front box using the Faded Jeans Distress Oxide. And right now I am adding a little bit of Distress crayon, the Iced Spruce, to the wooden frame that I put black gesso on. And all I'm doing is, it's like lipstick, and I'm just rubbing it on in the areas, and then smoothing it out a little bit with my thumb or my fingers, just to give it a little bit of a more of a distressed look. I don't know if you can kind of see that there. If I think it looks too lined up, I'll just come back in there, add a little bit more, and distress it. So this seems to work really well with the black gesso. And because I'm just trying to make it look a little bit more, not so much spooky, but a little bit more older looking. I mean, I guess it does have a little bit of a spooky look to it. I've already done the majority of it. I just wanted to show you this little bit left, what I did. Like I said, I just smooth it out. And then I've got the frame look. And then that's going to be hot glued on. And then, oh, I did find the one piece from the Element, so I'm going to put it behind here. I'm going to put that behind it. I think I'm going to distress this a little bit too. And then our guy is going to be glued on the top. I know there's probably going to be more, but that's the basic. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to remember what it was I showed you last. I went ahead and I did do what Tim Holtz says to do using his tiny lights. But what I did for this, and I'm hoping I can show you. Hold on. Okay, so this is the part where the batteries go, and the switch is right here. I glued that down to the back of the book box, and you want to make sure that you have the right side up, so you don't glue down the part so you can't change out your batteries. So in this case, there were screws on the back side, but this will just lift up and I can replace the batteries. This little bit that is bigger, which I think he also talks about in his video, I didn't pull through. I just tied it off with a twisty tie, so that's what's going to be on the back. Now, in order to make these holes on the back, I used two things. I used my piercing tool to make the hole. It wasn't big enough because this is a little bit wider to pull through. And then the rest of the way, I used my scissors and just made the hole bigger. The tiny lights are very tiny, but you still need a big enough hole so that you can pull it through and not ruin it. So anyway, the little light switch is right here. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on and show you what it looks like before I have them glued down. Okay, so that's what they're going to sort of look like once I get them glued down. They'll be like that. And I'm going to have other things in here. But I did have to make a hole, as you can see there, and one to come back up so it'd go on the next shelf. And again, I'm going to be putting stuff. I'll probably put something back there. I don't know what that's going to be yet. So that's what that is and how that's going to light up. But I am going to be cutting this extra part off. And I'm going to save it because I think there's a way that I can still use them and they can get them to light up. I'm going to check a video out that I have seen and see if I can not use these. If I can, I'm going to put that link below to the video that teaches you how to use the rest of this. Okay, so then the cover I did finish. I might add more stuff again to this too. Just this is the basic of what I did, and this is the guy. Like I said, I did heat emboss, him with clear embossing powder. Added some gauze. Now this was colored with alcohol ink. I actually used Copic ink and alcohol to mix together, and I made this color. And then there's our little pull opening. So that's how far I am right now. And the next step is to, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off and glue these down with hot glue. I have to be careful because Tim said make sure you do not put the hot glue where the lights are. You want to keep it on the metal. So I'll try to be really careful to get those glued down like that. And then I'll start adding the rest of the stuff. Okay, so I wanted to show you, I put a little bit of Copic ink inside of these bottles. It's not perfect, but it does give me a little bit of color. So I was going to go ahead and show you. At first I put a little bit of alcohol with it, but it can just go in as a little drop. And I think this will work fine. Put the cap back on and just let it roll around inside of it. That's how I'm going to use it. I'm going to be putting these tiny labels on each one anyway that came in that pack. So it'll look like there's a little bit of medicines in that cabinet. Okay, now I have, like I said, I've got these all done up. I went ahead and took those labels and ran them through my Xron so that they'll be like stickers. And then I'm just going to put those on the top of these. Just like that. And that works pretty good. And they will look like little jars for in there. I could get these other two. And one more. I'm not sure what else I'm gonna put inside here, but I know I'm gonna try to fill it up. So just get this part done and then look for my more embellishments. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue those jars down. Okay, so I think I've got everything together to finish this off, and I was going to show you what I'm planning to do. This I've painted with black gesso. It is a Tim Holtz ornament or adornment. I can't remember how that was worded. So I'm still going to use the distressed crayon to give him a little bit more of a I don't want to say distressing, because I think it'll look kind of cool. And I really kind of like this color, which I've already used in this project. And then I'm just going to smear that around to get that look. And I think that's pretty cool. So the black gesso worked really well, and then this highlighted it really cool. So, and you can see the front. I'm still not really sure if I want to add something to the front. In the end I might. But this is the inside, and this will end up being glued on right there. And I will show you when I get everything glued on in the end. It'll be about right there. And then what I ended up doing is I made this little paper box. I know my finger's got some stuff on it now, so if I can get that off. And if you remember the bottom of this, I just had it like that. I just made a little paper box and put whatever it is I want to in there. I was going to put a handle on it, but then the door or the front of the box would not close. So I have this empty spaces, and I decided with that I wanted to make some little books. So what I did was I took some chipboard, and I was just going to cut these into sections and then make them into books, but because my paper cutter wouldn't cut through it, it basically just cut slightly through it, which is perfect. It made my little books for me, and that's what I'm going to do. I'll probably put, and you know, they'll still work just fine. I'll probably just glue them together right here. So the next thing I did was I took out more of the Halloween, I can't remember what the name of it is. Let's see here. It's called, and I had two different packs, and so they might be different. I don't know if they were all in the same one because I combined them. But anyway, this was just supposed to be a label. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that to the top of this chipboard, and that's going to be my book. However, there's also these little itty bitty labels. And I'm going to glue those on the spine, and that's how my books are going to be. So I don't think you need to watch me doing the gluing, but I just wanted you to see how I did end up making the books. And I made several different sizes and several different widths of the spine. I'm going to be using this card for one, and I made a smaller one. I'm just going to be doing in this one just the top, because the bottom isn't going to be showing anyway, and then that's going to be the binding or the spine. And I think I have one more tiny one. I'm making a total of 4. And I actually cut the bottom of this one off. And again, I'm going to be using this for the, I think that's right. Yeah, this one's for that spine. I think I'm going to add more of the pieces down here just to decorate this up. But that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. And then I'm going to come back and show you how it all looks together. Okay, so I am finished. I went ahead and pulled out some more of the paper and from that set that I showed you, and I did go ahead and emboss them. I put clear embossing powder on these. I stamped them with a clear ink, Versamark, and just added those to the front. And then on the inside, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on first before I get in there. Okay, and for the inside, ta-da, I'm so excited. All right, so there's the little skeleton adornment, and then the reason I made this is because of Tim Holtz' Facebook tutorial and the candles. I absolutely love them. Even though I don't have the Halloween, I couldn't get the Halloween tiny lights. I just have the regular lights. I went ahead and used those, and I just went ahead. This is like one of those books like you can get, which I told you at the beginning, at Michael's, and I put some cardboard shelves, and then I made my little box at the bottom, and then I just added the cute little books, and I'm thinking like these would be something really cool that Tim could actually add to his line to make little books. I know he made large book covers that are really, really cool that I've saved in my stash. So that would be cool if he made little ones. Yay! So I'm really excited. I think it turned out really well. I'm happy about it. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'll take some pictures and share those with you too. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope that that inspired you. I know Tim inspires me every time he does his live videos on Facebook. And again, I'm going to have the links below so you can see how he made these cool candles. Thank you so much.